The first time you put on this costume, what was that like?
And what's it like to wear that suit?
Oh yeah, now it's like a second skin. Now sometimes I forget that I'm wearing it. I love it. I think I'm pretty lucky in terms of superhero garb.
Yeah.
It was thrilling. It was empowering.
It's just such a cool suit.
The costume is going to be like, that's the biggest thing that's causing all the buzz. You know, what does the suit look like? What does the suit look like?
What I loved is how cool the costume was when they came up with all the things that I've used to battle and survive. I love the strength of her.
Once I was in that costume, it was the most beautiful costume I've ever seen.
How do you fit into that suit?
It takes 3 of us.
You need help getting dressed?
It's just like a team of people that get that thing on.
There's a lot of lubrication involved in getting you into the costume.
That is true, James,
Yes.
and thank you for knowing that.
How do you know?
There's a lot of... Well, someone needs to help get in. There's a lot of KY jelly, is it?
Yeah, they lube me. It's the truth. They lube me down, and I step into this latex. We did a whole latex fitting.
They lubricate the costume, and then you step in.
They lubricate the costume, and they lubricate me.
How did that happen?
Oh, it did. With a lot of sponge rubber, for one thing.
It's kind of like a wetsuit, actually. You know, just requires a little more talcum powder and like a second person to help you get into it.
Ain't it fun? Just how uncomfortable was it to wear such a tight-fitting Superman suit?
Pretty uncomfortable.
I just didn't want to be in the suit. It was so uncomfortable.
My suit was really uncomfortable.
It was really uncomfortable for me. Like, my situation was in a lot of Spanx.
Those outfits were very tight, ladies.
Oh.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
What, did they paint that on you or what?
Lurex. Yeah. They were made out of Lurex. It's like a stretch fabric, and so then it stretched and fit. And it has little tiny metallic threads in it, which means it's hot in the summer and cold in the winter.
Well, it's like a big red body condom. Yeah, but yeah, sure. Call it a suit, whatever you want.
It was really heavy.
It was super hot, and there were like 4 or 5 layers to the suit before you even get to the chest plate and the cape that's drilled into your chest.
This most uncomfortable costume in my entire life. What was it with the cape was pulling my neck back, double thick bridal satin. It was very heavy. It was about 8 pounds. You know, I mean, everything was the mask was irritating my eyelashes.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's like some kind of torture. It's the tights that whoever was there that was designing them decided they didn't like the tint, so they colored them. And when they did, all the fabric filled up, and there's no air in it.
It got pretty sweaty. They don't breathe.
It just gets hot. You just get warm.
It is not breathable. You know, it's going to be uncomfortable days. But sometimes it actually felt good because there were some cold days. We were shooting in the winter of Atlanta, so I appreciated how tight it was at certain points.
It feels like a wetsuit. You know, it was like warm when you wanted it to be cool. It was freezing when you needed to be warm. It was.
It's a very fancy wetsuit. Not as warm as you think. It's actually not that bad unless you're actually out in the sun for a few hours. And then it gets a little toasty. Yeah,
clammy.
Yeah.
Not the most comfortable. They're super, super tight, which is just kind of feels a little claustrophobic sometimes.
My entire head is encased in prosthetics. I have a 40-pound suit on that's made of 13 different pieces. I had to wear a cooling mechanism underneath, if not I would die of heat stroke. Very limited movement. Sometimes it was very claustrophobic.
I'm very claustrophobic. I went, I'm in trouble, man. I gotta really face this thing, because you couldn't get out of it. This thing was like wrapped.
I'm not claustrophobic, and it wasn't anything like that. It was just I wore it for half an hour, and I kind of ran around. And the next day, I felt like my spirit had been broken. Like I thought I'd been training for all these years, and I was pretty butch. And I put on that Mark I suit, which is his kind of escape vehicle. and I almost had a personality meltdown.
At first, it was awful because you feel claustrophobic in your own body, in your own skin, because you have an itch and you can't scratch it.
The worst part is honestly getting an itch, because it's so thick that I can't scratch an itch or anything.
As I got bigger as well towards the end of the movie, it sort of became more and more uncomfortable, and sort of the pressure was more vacuum packed.
It's basically a vacuum sealed corseted suit of armor. So sitting was not an option.
First, there's lots of problems with having a corset that needs to do cartwheels or something, because you got to figure out the boning and the length of things, because if your side ribs are cramped, you're prone to panic attacks because you can't breathe, and then human beings don't like that feeling. No animal likes that feeling, not being able to breathe. So I do remember having to go, oh my God, somebody untie me.
Well, the suit's brutal. You know, at the time, particularly, it weighed like, I don't know, 60 pounds, and it takes, you have to, and I'm bolted into this suit. I can't move.
It's hard to work in the sense that it's, as an actor, you can't really hear clearly. Your peripheral vision is limited. You've kind of got hooded eyes, and you can't move very well. It's very constricting on from actually the top of your head to the tip of your toes.
You can't hear anymore. It's plastic. Do this right now.
Right.
That's what it's like.
It wasn't plastic, it was rubber. Meow. The first time I put the outfit on, I thought, I can't walk, I can't breathe, I can't hear, I'm really unhappy. I can't act.
Michelle couldn't really hear very well out of her suit either, so we'd be 30 feet away sometimes doing a scene, and I'd pretty much just watch her lips, and I'd say, yeah, she looks like she might be finished.
It was fine. I think Christian had it worse in the bat suit than I did. I didn't have my ears covered. Christian, he has a hard time hearing when he's in the mask, but at least if you enunciate, he could understand what you were saying. There's a scene in which there's a few scenes where we're all three together. I don't know what those days were about, because Christian couldn't hear anything. You couldn't understand what Tom was saying, and I was just sort of in the middle in a cat suit.
It's a nightmare when you can't turn your head, when you're meant to be fighting people.
My one I get very hot in, but it gives me muscles and all this, and I also didn't have to wear my makeup as much.
Did you ever have to get painted? No, because some of the guys had to get painted, and it's impossible to get off. I think it was with them for weeks after.
Yes. Once you get painted like that, it's
you never go back.
As far as the costume thing goes, it's kind of a dead heat between him and me in terms of discomfort.
I have to dress up in a muscle suit and paint myself purple for most of the year, okay?
You have to get up very, very early in the morning and go through 5 hours of makeup, and then you have ahead of you an entire day's worth of work. So it wasn't that much fun.
I would arrive on the set sometime 4:30, 5 in the morning and get made up. They applied a forehand and nose paint, and then they used a special grease makeup on the face. Then the body would take 4 or 5 coats to guys by hand putting the makeup on. So you talk about 3.5 hours. They had to be retouched all day long, and sometimes the makeup take an hour to take off. I never told you that. One time at about 1 in the morning, I was exhausted. I said to the makeup man, go home, leave the makeup on.
There's no CG for me. When I was on my 7th hour, I was like, why don't you just dip me in a bathtub of blue? But it's all airbrushed. They place the scales first, and then that's Telesis and glue, latex. And then they do 3 layers of airbrush blue, and then 5 layers of splattering of all different colors, which is really cool. It's the worst when that's going on, but it looks really cool. It makes it look like 3D marble. It's the same technology, the same methods they were using on Rebecca Romaine, the original Mystique, 10 years ago.
Getting into that makeup was always a job. It was a 9-hour makeup job every day. I would go in at midnight for a 9 a.m. call on set.
I still have blue pores.
Turns out they never had to do 8 hours of full-blown body paint ever.
Oh. So is it CGI now or something? Or?
No, it's like a blue pantyhose that goes around my whole body.
It was a lot of work, but to be honest, it was worth it. I always said that going through the makeup application was what I was getting paid for, and being in the movie was what I did for free.
I love the cap suit. It's a great suit, but after about 3 months of wearing it, you start missing normal clothing.
No, it wasn't uncomfortable.
Really?
No, it wasn't. I had this little itty bitty waist. I mean, I really just had this little waist, just the way it was.
I've been hearing male superheroes in the MCU complain about their costumes for years. And then I got one of my own. And I was like, yeah, okay, they're a little uncomfortable, but it's kind of great. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. I feel cool, I look cool, I feel like a badass. Like, I love my costume. And then it dawned on me. The reason why the men in the MCU are so uncomfortable in their clothes is because they've never, ever had to be uncomfortable in their clothes ever before in their lives. But as women in the MCU have been uncomfortable in clothes most of our adult lives and are used to sacrificing comfort for beauty, and we're just like, I don't know, it's like, seems normal to me.
It's incredibly comfortable. I put it on, I strap in, and I'm good to go for an entire day.
It was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
A lot of powder?
Yeah, you can imagine lots of talc, you know, the whole nine.
I remember days like in the heat, your hands would swell and like the sweat would be dripping out, and not a word, just sort of, I should probably get a napkin for that. Like, you were just so composed.
It's work.
It was cumbersome and annoying, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a drag, but it paid off pretty good. So I'm not complaining.
It's terrible hearing actors moan about being uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable working in the suits. But we were really, really well paid. So.
But that said, like, it's such an honor to wear it. I mean, it outweighs any discomfort.
If somebody said you get to be the main superhero in a superhero movie that's going to be all over the world, and it's just going to require you to do, you know, wear a tight suit, dude, I'll take those 10 times over. I'll take it 10 times over if I get to be this guy.
It's like taking a 15-hour flight. You know it's not going to be fun, but when it's all said and done, you do it and you're like, all right, that's fine. And then when it's over, you're like, that wasn't that bad.
Make it work.
I had something to do with making that costume.
Is that right?
Yes. There are a few secrets inside that costume. It's all in the seams, by the way.
No. My input with regards to my costume was mostly complaining while being vacuum sealed into it.
There's different layers. There's a bodice underneath. The cape is its own thing. I have muscles that we add because ain't no way I am that muscular.
Doesn't bother me if there's nipples or if there's not nipples. I never even noticed it until journalists started asking about me. I could care less, to tell you the truth.
They made this like plaster body mold of me and my entire face and every inch of my body, and just watching the process of them build this costume, and then all of a sudden showing up on the set one day when it was finished, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna put that on and be a superhero.
Was there any costume envy?
Yeah, I was called envious of Ray. We didn't have a costume.
I was in the onesie. My costume is mine because it's pajamas. I have the CG mocap suit, and I've actually grown accustomed to it now. When I got to see everybody else in their costumes, I was jealous at first because I know I'd have to wait to see what mine looked like.
It's come to my attention that you don't know who I am. I am Hela.
Half of my costume was done in post, so a lot of the time I was trying to look fierce and bad and indomitable in a mocap suit, which is pretty hard to do. Those things are pretty... It's a lot of polyester to wear.
So you're on the set and you have dots on your face and you have a Velcro onesie on and you're walking around with boots that are just dopey, and you're wearing sometimes a big chest piece for vicinity purposes, proximity purposes, and all this stuff. And it never feels cool. There's nothing cool about it. But then you see it, and I've seen scenes, and it's beyond cool.
I love it. I think it's a really good modernization of something very classic. It's got a very alien feel to it while being recognizable as the suit that we know and love. When that costume was created initially, it was, you know, in an era where Victorian and circus strongmen were very prevalent. So nowadays they're not so much. And for a new generation growing up, who have not seen Superman before, to see a chap wearing his underwear on the outside might be a little odd. So I think it was important to have an evolution of the suit.
What we were trying to do with the suit, or what they were doing, I mean, I didn't really have a lot of say in it, was trying to create the newer aesthetic of the suit while also kind of paying homage to the classic Captain Marvel stuff. Obviously, the red and gold color scheme.
The detailery too, like all the little embroideries and the lines and stuff, I think are so dope. We had an incredible costume department, and they were just on it, like all that, like a race car team, like you know, like putting me together and taking me apart.
Are going to get
you know, the suit is so, it looks so complex, like it's so, the way that they also enhanced it, post-production is so beautiful and delicate.
Our costumes are, they're so intricate, and the design is so, I mean, you have to move in it, you have to breathe in it, you have to live in it.
You can't get a suit to be form-fitting and like hug a person's body without having had them in a room for hours on end and making it perfect. But I mean, I really think I spent like a ridiculous amount of time making sure that suit was right. I would call up the wardrobe department and say, I know production scheduled us for 2 hours. But we need all day, right? And they were like, oh, we'd love all day. And I'm like, I'm here for you. If we need 5 days, you just tell me. We're gonna get this suit perfect. You need to get the breast shape perfect, because it shouldn't be, I didn't want it to be garish. I didn't want it to be like the comic books. It was really focused on TNA. It was very focused on the curves and being buxom. So I wanted it to be sexy and beautiful, but I wanted it to be realistic and modern as well. And like that balance was tricky to find.
Yeah, I need to be able to fight, move, sit, kick. We ended up having, I think, over 14 different costumes. One is softer, one is shinier, one is heavier, one is darker, one is lighter. So at the end of the day, I was as comfortable as could be in this type of costume.
I worked with our wardrobe master, Jan Kemp, for a week or two before we started filming with the costume to make sure that it was really slick, you know, and that everything fit well and moved well and whatever. The Jan Kemp and the others involved tried to make the costume as close to what was happening in the comic books as they could, and still make it move well and be practical.
You know, when I put on any costume, it makes the character appear.
All the other work that we were doing to create that world, once you put that costume on, it just like finished the job for me.
I feel like I'm Barry Allen a lot, but like when I'm in the suit, like I have this disconnect, and it feels like I just kind of become, it's like my performer persona, and I just like am a ham in the suit and just have a lot of fun.
So I take the suit into the bathroom, suddenly I'm putting it on, and then I look around and I'm in the mirror and suddenly I'm Superman, right? I thought this, and the music kind of comes in, so I'm
You auditioned to play Superman,
I did.
and you put on the Superman suit at
I
one point
did.
for a J.J. Abrams version of that.
I got that stripe, I did it.
What was that experience like wearing the
Very
Superman?
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. You feel kind of invincible. I can fly. You know, they said, you want to take a run down the hallway? Yeah.
Did you have a little sneaky look in the mirror when you had it all on? Big S in your chest?
Every day. Every day. Yeah, every day. It's one of those special things when you're getting into a Superman outfit every morning. You want to relish every moment, really.
I don't think it hit me yet until the first day of filming in the suit.
And the fact that I have a bona fide spandex cape, you know, situation, I think is just, it's so iconic and so cool in that regard.
The trickiest thing I found is not designed to be rained on. I mean, the shoes, for example, just fill with water, which is fine, you know, as long as you tip your boots in one way and all the water comes out, then you're ready for another take. But otherwise, it's sloshing about the place.
The chest and the gauntlets really did light up.
So wait, that's not CGI, that lights up.
That thunderbolt on my chest actually had lights in it, actually lit up.
The wiring for all that was also in the suit, and was a little finicky sometimes. It was very persnickety, that suit. Plus, we were shooting in Toronto in the middle of winter, and it was freezing, and batteries don't do well in really freezing cold.
I was allergic to my cowl, my mask, and so I'm like allergic to the adhesive tape, so I had like hives for like a little while. When I took it off, I was like in a horror film. We had to take everything out of it and put like something else, cotton or something in it.
His cowl was driving him crazy. No, it was fiberglass. Wrapped
Fiberglass?
Yes, fiberglass wrapped in cloth and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it was, believe me, it was not a lot of fun.
Having a cape is silly when you're in a fight anyway, but we just have to ignore that. A number of times it ends up over your face is ridiculous.
They're the most unpractical things in the world. I suggest if you're going to be a superhero, do away with that silly item.
The first day I put on the latex suit and I was out there and I was really excited to be with these guys, and I met Michael and James and everybody, and I was just so excited, and then I went to like stretch. I was like, okay, I want to do a really good job, and I just popped the crotch of the latex just broke.
Crotch popping can be a superpower. Yeah.
People go, how do you go to the bathroom? I'm like, come on, do people really need to know that?
How does she go to the bathroom?
That's really something that your audience does not need to know. But it happened. I can guarantee you. It did happen. A couple of times a day.
From what I've heard, all of us, almost every one of us superheroes in any universe, really has difficulty going to the bathroom in these things because they're intricate puzzles, you know?
This is true. You need help going to the bathroom.
Because there's nothing like a fly, it's all in one, and sort of you have to balance what you drink throughout the day. And
Drinking water is dangerous in the Spider-Man costume because an accident is not an option. That suit is so expensive. But going to the bathroom is a mission. You know, you have to plan 45 minutes in advance. Like, guys, I feel like I'm gonna need the toilet soon.
It looks like it's easy to pee in that, but really it's not.
Real
And if you have the poopsies, it is very challenging to, you gotta be really good at holding it. So some of those little fun facts you might want to know.
That's the one thing Henry told me from the get-go. Like, he had to get sewn into his on Man of Steel, and it's like, you can't go to the bathroom.
Well, I worked very hard at speaking with Michael Wilkerson before we started developing the new version of the suit, and this one has a zipper.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can go to the bathroom whenever I so choose.
Actually, it's not bad. I have it a little easier. I had a fly. They kind of thought it through, and I had a fly. It was a little bit like wearing a motorcycle suit.
There is a zipper, but it's a whole process. I need 6 people to help me go take a leak.
I would say, and going to the bathroom is like, I don't know why, this is a weird metaphor. It's like trying to pull an gnocchi mushroom out of a sealed envelope.
I have questions for the Catwoman. How did you get to the bathroom when you were wearing this outfit?
First, let's ask Eartha. Eartha, when you were in the outfit, how did you get to the ladies' room?
We didn't bother to do anything like that.
Exactly. I wanted desperately to have some sort of relief tube because it was next to impossible to...
No, mine had a zipper. What's the matter with your dressmaker?
But it took forever to get it on and off.
And Robin said, holy kitty litter. So terrible.
I can't do any form of bathroom. Like the guys who made it were like, well, she's a girl. She didn't go to the bathroom. So I pee standing up out of a funnel.
How do you use the restroom? Is this TMI?
No, it wasn't so bad. I think the restroom is harder for Chris.
I saw Christian Bale, and he said, make sure they put a zipper in that suit. I did 3 movies with no zipper in my outfit. So he gave me some very practical advice. And did you take that advice? I did take that advice, and it proved quite useful.
But mostly, if you're going to play superhero, be able to take a piss by yourself, because otherwise it doesn't feel very superheroic, you know? So I just said have a zipper or something so he can take care of business himself, whereas I had to have somebody take care of business for me.
They also decided to try to put a zipper this year to kind of aid making a trip to the bathroom.
I'm already concerned about going to the bathroom. I was like, I need some snaps
Be
or
concerned
something.
with that.
Because
I
go to the bathroom
concerned.
That's where we're
going to leave it.
Spider-Man's got a new suit.
I made you this, another suit.
You really like the suit, right?
I do, yes. Because I can go to the bathroom in it mainly.
You know, we had to, there was all these different parts that you had to take off.
And then the final part was like this, it's like a rubber suit. And underneath I was only wearing a unitard. But in this unitard, you know, there was an opening, of course, so I could go to the bathroom. And so he had to get on his knees every day and like pull the suit down. And he was on his knees. And every time he pulled, right when he got it off, you know, there's a little bump. And then and then he pulled it off, and like sometimes my stuff would kind of come out in his face.
I've just finished the press junket for Ghost in the Shell yesterday.
Another
And I
outfit.
finally got so tired of being asked how long it took me to put on my suit and what do I wear under there. And I said, I'm sorry, do you happen to ask a man this question?
Tom, I've got a little bit of a personal question.
Sure, ask away.
Is it true that you wore a thong underneath your outfit?
I do have to wear a thong, yeah, in the Spider-Man suit, just because it's a very shapely costume.
What do you wear under it? Because I, you know, with the jumping scenes, I did notice, and this is because I'm a woman, not because I'm perving, but there's no seams, so that doesn't seem like there's anything underneath. Am I making you uncomfortable?
You're not making me uncomfortable at all. I just don't know what answer you want.
Is it the birthday suit under the real suit?
What did you wear underneath yours?
There's typically a onesie that you guys gotta have on. There's different layers of suit that you gotta kind of have to wear in order to kind of get into the suit. So it's kind of universal going across the board.
What do you wear on your months of working out. Yeah.
And is it just bare ass? Like, do you wear clothes under that?
Oh no, they have a little foam. There is a little bit of a foam rubber pad.
You're probably sick of questions about the suit, though, right? What do you got?
What did your costume smell like the last day of this shoot?
Why ask that question? I mean, like, why?
I'm
What's the like? But seriously,
Hard line. These are hard line on that.
No, the question is, what's your next question?
Yeah. What's your next question?
I'm always like so terrified I'll like throw up in the mask or something. You know, I have all these weird. Oh yes.
Sneeze.
There's
Do you
a
ever
lot
sneeze
of.
in the mask?
I have to all the time.
But could you wash them? I mean, are they washable?
They're spray
wash
cleanable.
them? No, we didn't wash.
Spray cleanable.
Do you have to work out a lot to look like Superman, or does the suit kind of do it for you?
I mean, the suit doesn't hurt. Suit definitely doesn't hurt.
Was it all your real muscle, or is it just the costume?
Are those real muscles?
Yes, they are. I mean, the suit also has some fun augmentation and stuff in it.
Did you not just wish you could put some like chicken fillets in the costume and just have that job done for you?
I mean, we got a little bit of that, a little help there. You know, I don't think anybody's that chiseled in a suit, so we get a little help.
It's so interesting to me that it's even a question, because it's like listening to bluegrass and being like, I bet there's some banjo in that music. It's like, of course there's banjo, it's bluegrass. What are we even talking about?
You're going to drive a lot of fetishists insane all over the world. Does this give you a sort of a thrill inside to know that all these people are going to be climbing walls?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know. I think that's something I don't really think about.
You are in phenomenal shape. You're always in great shape, but you had to make sure you were in perfect shape for this one, didn't you? What was that suit like? It had to be comfortable to wear, but it looked like it was so form-fitting, was it? Is there a certain regimen you put yourself through? What is the feline fitness regime? Any particular workout?
Are you trying to lose weight?
Well,
like, what's the deal, man? You look great.
No.
No, seriously. We have to talk about this. What do you want? Are you trying to fit into a cat suit?
Were you able to wear undergarments?
You're like the fifth person that's asking that to me.
Because
What is going on? Since when did people start asking each other in interviews about their underwear?
No, because it is such a skin tight. Here's
I'll
why.
leave it up to your imagination.
Oh, see?
Okay?
Is that...
Whatever you feel like I should be wearing or not wearing under that costume.
What do you wear underneath something
Overalls.
like that? Do you wear clothes?
You wear dungarees. You can't wear clothes under it. It's like a wetsuit. Was I wearing underwear? I mean, gosh.
I think it's intriguing, especially to men.
I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
How did you like wearing your outfit on the Batman series?
He's like wearing your outfit on the Batman series, the Riddler outfit.
My green underwear? No, it was kind of fun. I really didn't think about the outfit. You know, I enjoyed playing the role. I tell you one thing, people have asked me, when I played the Riddler, I made it a point to move around a lot. You know, so people have asked me if I ever studied ballet, because I wanted to move like a dancer, you know, and I never did study ballet. But the truth is that when I put on the green underwear and took a look in the mirror, I figured I better keep moving. I want to give everyone a good look, you know.
At first, I do remember being quite embarrassed walking around in quite such a short skirt.
Most of the stuff that I do is in a leotard, and it's not very flattering leotard. I call it the man-canceling leotard.
What's going to happen when I put on that costume and I walk on the stage and I'm a grown man and these guys, the crew, what are they going to do? This is the end of me. They're going to make such fun. You know what happened? I had a dressing room on the stage. I took a deep breath, you know, adjusted the costume, took a deep breath, opened the door, and walked across the stage in character, toward the lights, toward the camera, and I'll be damned. There wasn't a sound. They accepted my Batman. And that put me at ease a bit.
Okay, Aquaman hasn't been known for his costumes, his unique costume. The original OG fans are the very tight orange and green, and I'm very different than, you know, what the old comic books used to be. So it's always very fun to have them go like, we really, you know, that they accept me.
Did you keep the suit?
No.
Do you have it at your home?
No.
Look at occasionally? Touch?
No. I have a love-hate relationship with that suit. I don't need to look at it outside of work. I don't.
And did you negotiate into your contract that you'd be allowed to keep the suit afterwards as well?
No, I should have negotiated in that I could burn the suit when it was done.
You got the shield. Did you get the suit? No, I've been asking for the suit. I'll get the
You can't get the suit?
I'll get the suit. They gave me the shield, they gave me the cowl, and on this one I'm saying, come on guys, finish the set. Give me the whole shebang. What would you do with the suit if you got it? You know, I'm sure my buddies would, you know, I'm sure it'd be more fun for my friends than for me.
Do you still have a bunch of your costumes?
I do.
You do?
I do. I have one from the first season and one from the second season, and they're going to show it in the Smithsonian.
I'm gonna take a suit, for sure, because hopefully on the last day I'll be wearing it, and I just won't take it off.
I have a question for you. Do you still have the Robin suit from the Batman and Robin days?
I have it. It's in like this giant wood crate in the basement. I've been lugging this thing around for 20 years. I mean, when we did the movie, I said, I really want a costume. They're like, yeah, we'll send you one. And then this truck showed up with this giant box, and I've literally been lugging it around for 20 years. Like, what are you gonna do with it? You're not gonna like put it on display like, hey guys, have you seen my Robin costume? I mean, it's absurd.
You should put it on and fight crime.
Yeah, you should do it.
That's what you do.